Hello and welcome. It's No Apologies on Beck, where we are unafraid to speak the truth. I'm your host, Rick Becker, co-host Lori Hintz.
Hello there.
And, well, we've got guests all over the place tonight.
We do. It's going to be fun. They're coming out
Guests
of our ears.
coming out of our ears, indeed. So first up, I wanted to hit a topic. Joe Biden gave a speech today about withdrawing from Afghanistan.
Oh.
And so I want to touch on a few points there. Just kind of a free-flow discussion, if you will.
Excellent.
So show the first graphic. This just indicates that the speech was today. It's Biden says it's up to Afghans to run their country as the U.S. leaves. This is an interesting thing. I am very, very pleased that Biden is doing this. I think he is doing a good job. This is one of maybe the only times so far.
Every time you're going to give him props?
Yeah, I mean, heck, I'll give him props for everything he does right. But this is possibly the first time. So withdrawing the troops, I think, is an important thing that is long overdue. Trump bringing them home was fantastic. I think he started to change the direction that the Republican Party was looking. We have for a long time, in my humble opinion, adopted the neocon approach of being the world's policeman and installing governments that we think are favorable to democracy and so forth. And I think that's been a huge mistake, and it consistently has. So what we had was George Bush sending a bunch of troops over. When Obama came in, he really escalated it. He escalated it dramatically.
It's so surprising, isn't it?
But now here, I'm going to give him this. If you're going to go to war, you want it to be decisive and you want it to be quick. So I'm going to hand it to Barry that he really escalated it up big time. The problem is that at the same time, actually immediately prior to escalating, he said, here's when we're going to be out.
Oh, and that
now,
was a
you don't
mistake.
go
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
you know, you need, so this goes back to even to George
Is that the line
Bush.
in the sand thing you were talking
Well,
about?
no, that's
the red
Syria.
line,
The red
that's-
line in the sand is Syria
Okay.
that he ignored when
Got
people
it.
got poisoned. But what we're looking at here is, number one, everyone is saying this is the longest war, except it really wasn't a war, was it? Because Congress didn't declare a war. And this goes back to when Senator Kramer was talking with us. We should never be sending our young women and men overseas and put their lives at risk if we don't have, as legislators, the spine and fortitude to actually declare a war. If it's important, declare it. And so it just follows one thing after the other. So George Bush did that. Obama sent people in. Again, for what reason? There was no defined endpoint. There was an end time, but there was no goal.
Right.
And that, how can you go to war without
An
a
objective.
definable objective that you can accomplish? Go ahead and bring up the next graphic. Because when we send our young men and women over, we have to ask, what is the cost? And of course, we can look at the cost in terms of lives. And we, in the U.S., lost about 2,355 people dead because of the Afghan war. And over 21,000 have been injured.
That's a lot of injuries.
It is tremendous. And again, we have to say, what is it that we went to accomplish? Now, President Biden said we accomplished what we set out to do, which was kill Osama bin Laden and eradicate the threat of new terrorist attacks. I don't know that we accomplished the second one. We accomplished the first one, but we killed Osama bin Laden in Pakistan, not even in Afghanistan. And I thought it was very telling. I listened to the speech. Actually, I listened to it twice today. He told a reporter, there is no mission accomplished. Now, I don't know that that's what he meant, but I think he is absolutely correct. There's no true mission accomplished. The military leaders...
Can you ever, though, get rid of all of the terrorists?
No,
There's
it's an
possible
ideology.
way. It is.
It's an
There's no
ideology.
there's
You
no
can
possible
protect
way.
your homeland,
Right.
but you'll never change the ideology.
Right. And if that's what they're saying was the mission, it's never going to be accomplished.
Right. He also said that, this is interesting, he said that the Taliban are at their strongest point that they have been in 20 years since the war began. At the same time, he says that it is silly to think that the Taliban is going to take over the entire country. Now, the Taliban and the Afghan security forces have been in talks now for a long time. They've broken down. Interestingly, now they're being held in Iran. And it looks to be that Russia, Iran, and China are going to be the victors here. and the U.S. is the loser. And again, I just think that it is so unfortunate because we never declared why it was exactly that we were there, what it was going to look like for us to be able to leave. We just said, yeah, we're going to leave. Now, again, fortunately, Trump said, okay, enough is enough. These endless wars have to stop. The killing has to stop. We're going to bring them home. Biden could have, and this is why I'm so happy with Biden. If you think about what we've talked about, Biden at every possible turn has tried to undo everything that Trump's done.
This is just the opposite. He's
Yes.
going forward with it.
He is going forward with it. And originally Trump wanted, and I shouldn't say originally he wanted him out by last Christmas, but that wasn't realistic. So he wanted him out by May, and now what we've got is Biden saying they are going to be out August 31st. He said that today. And essentially the war is over there because last week we evacuated the Bagram Air Force Base.
Heard that.
They destroyed 16,000 pieces of equipment. I mean, the cost of the Afghan war to the United States only is over $1 trillion. Think of what we could have done with those dollars. I mean, it's just phenomenal.
Some infrastructure.
It's absolutely. We talked about the casualties for the U.S., but we haven't talked about the Afghan casualties. The security forces have lost 64,000 people, and over 110,000 civilians have been killed, and the number of people displaced is phenomenal. So these effects, when we go in and do these types of things, which we don't declare as war, have just dramatic repercussions, and we need to avoid that temptation to do that.
Is that now I want to say the War Powers Act, but is this a situation where because it's an old declaration and it's still drawn out there, the actual Congress is bypassed and not used and not voting on declaring war? Isn't that something that's just decades old?
Well, it is. Some of them are, but Congress declared or did pass a new war powers resolution for this purpose. Again, in my mind, it showed how spineless they were, because they weren't going to declare war, but they said, "Hey, President, if you want to do it, go ahead and do it."
You wash your hands.
And that's why we need to pull back. And my comments to Senator Kramer were that any new war powers acts should be limited specifically in time, and they should not involve actually deploying people overseas.
You understand, though, the tactical reason for not saying, here's a limit in time, because if it's not finished at that time, then you're going to pull out and it's going to probably leave things worse. You know what I'm saying?
Well, absolutely, you're absolutely correct. That's the thing. And but the problem is, you said if you're not done or if you haven't accomplished your goal, how can you? There's no goal.
Quantify your goal.
They have not defined
the goal. You have to quantify the
goal,
and you have to have an objective. Do your objective, and in the United States, we can do our objectives.
Well, yes. Pull up the next graphic for me. This is a quickie, and then we'll go to our last one. This is just showing the Taliban government negotiators agree on a peaceful end to the Afghan quagmire. They haven't agreed. They're saying they're going to agree. I don't see, with their ideology, they're not going to agree. There will be a civil war in Afghanistan. There will be tremendous amounts of lost territory back to the Taliban. Again, questioning what was it all for to begin with.
If you're negotiating in Iran, there's that. I mean, there's that too. So
yeah, last graphic. I wanted to bring this up. Our good friend. Why am I blanking on his name here? Our good friend. Clay Jenkinson. I was not going to let it go. Wow, Clay. He's very interested in coming back on the show, and I said I'd love to have him on. But he writes very good articles, and he wrote this article: Afghanistan, 20 years later, another costly quagmire. And in his article, and these governing.com articles that he does are fantastic. But he points out that many, many great empires have invaded Afghanistan, and none of them have been successful in accomplishing what they allegedly set out to accomplish. Wow. It's a very good article. He brings up these concerns. He talks about how after we leave and the Taliban are inevitably going to take over at least parts, if not all, of Afghanistan, all of those people that were helping us are going to be at risk, will be killed, if any of them that we don't bring over. The women who have gained rights, the girls who have gained the ability to get an education, that will all be lost. So again, what it comes down to is we have to stop going overseas and trying to be the cop or the good guy or converting nations to be more of how we think they should be, because it costs us untold amounts of fortune and treasure and blood, and it's unacceptable. And I hope that the Trump approach of saying endless wars must stop is going to be carried on by the next Republicans. Yes. All right. So with that.
All right. When we come back, we are going to introduce you to a guest from New York, and he is a lawyer, and we are going to talk to that attorney, and also we will have a guest in studio at the same time. So join us. We'll be right back.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
Go for Launch 2018 series winner. Without further ado, it is my honors. Reginald. The winning team is the Flumin River Excellence.
Oh my God!
They won!
Welcome back. It's No Apologies. And Laura, you've got some great guests to introduce to our viewers.
I'm very excited about this. First of all, we knew about the Rock Your Health Summit coming up. And so with us in studio is Tara Ducart, who is in public relations for the Health Freedom North Dakota folks. And then also we're zooming in right now, Kevin Barry. Kevin Barry, you are an attorney, and we really appreciate you being on because you are actually going to be in Bismarck for the Rock Your Health Summit in August.
Absolutely looking forward to it.
Well, I'm looking forward to it too.
Thanks for being on.
Yeah, so we appreciate you zooming in here. So Kevin, tell us a little bit about your background and you and why you would even come to Bismarck.
Sure. So going way back, I used to be at the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York. So I'm a former federal lawyer. I'm showing some of the gray hairs that Rudy Giuliani was my boss before he was mayor of New York. So it's a long time ago. But it gave me some insight into how the federal government works. And what got me into the health freedom movement was about 20 years ago, a little over 20 years ago. I have a 23-year-old son who's vaccine injured. So that started me up that road. So I've been around this for a long time.
Very, very cool stuff too. Now, I understand that you also run a nonprofit.
Yes, there's a nonprofit that I started in 2014 as I saw like the attacks on religion coming from corporate interests. I started an organization called firstfreedoms.org, which was meant to protect the 5 freedoms of the First Amendment, which are all under assault right now from big tech and big government. The rights to assemble, to protest, free speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, all under assault. And we need people who care about liberty to push back.
That sounds like a very, very cool website too. We're going to have to check that out. We'll put it up on the screen for you in a little while here too. Tara, I'm going to talk to you just for a second too. Just give the date of the Rock Your Health Summit and a very brief description of it. And then I want to go back to Kevin and find out what his discussion is, what your topic is going to be at the summit.
Yes, definitely. So Rock Your Health, the official summit, is all day Saturday. It is August 21st. So we will open up doors at 7:30 a.m. We officially start at 8 a.m. and we have a jam-packed day. So we are scheduled to go all the way until 6 p.m. And then we will actually do a VIP dinner starting the night before. So that's a separate ticket. If you'd like to be a part of the VIP dinner, that will be a meet and greet and a chance for a question and answer period with all of our speakers, including Kevin.
Oh, yay.
And so that'll
That's
be
my
an
next
amazing
question.
opportunity. So that will be Friday, August 20th.
Well, it looks like you have a bunch of speakers too, but Kevin, what is your topic? What will you be talking to people at Rock Your Health about?
Well, one of the things I want to talk about is a new organization I started that's called Liberty Now, and NOW is an acronym for Network of Warriors. And I think what's happening now, there's obviously a polarization of the country, and I think we need to push back against that, of red states and blue states, and things like vaccine passports and mandates for work and for school, which violate people's religious beliefs. Like, these are all extremely important issues that are going to be around for a long time. And if they'll be around for a long time if enough people fight back to preserve individual liberty, because right now there's an unholy alliance between big pharma, big data, and big government that's really coming for individual rights.
And I think people are much more aware of that now. I mean, I know that President Trump called out the big tech and the big media in that way, but I don't think people are as aware probably until Tara was on our show one time and she was talking about big pharma, and people were just appalled with the information that she gave about big pharma.
Yeah, well, Tara's right. And and it's also, I think what's underappreciated is the human rights aspect of it. Because the Nuremberg Code, the key to any medical intervention is consent. And that was updated in 2005 under the Universal Declaration on Bioethics and Human Rights, which says people can refuse medical treatment for any reason at any time without disadvantage or prejudice. So being kept out of school, or potentially losing your job, or not being able to get a passport, or in the future a driver's license, those are all human rights violations. And that's not well understood. I think it's much better understood in red states than blue states. So one of the reasons I was very excited to come to North Dakota is part of the message that I'm bringing is the blue states need help from the red states, right?
Right. We are doing our best for Minnesota next door. We really are on this show. We're doing our best, people.
I'm dead serious. I'm in New York. I kind of straddle New York, New Jersey. I'm one of the lawyers working to restore the religious exemption that was recently lost in Connecticut. And that case will be filed by the end of July. And we can talk about that at the summit as well. And it's very frightening what's happening on the coasts. And the unfortunate, something we have to really be afraid of is that DC gets on board with that. So what I think the model that needs to be followed is almost what happened with marijuana legislation, where individual states get out ahead of the federal government, and then there was enough critical mass of states that the federal government had to stand down to what the states were doing. So I'm actually working with multiple state legislatures, trying to pass a few laws that could lock in individual rights and kind of tone down what big data and big pharma are trying to accomplish.
Excellent. Do you think that's a good idea, Rick? I mean, that sounds like a good plan to work through the legislatures. The kind of election integrity is kind of going the same route, trying to usurp things or use their power in advance of the federal government doing an HR 1 or an S1, something like that. And you can do it on the state level and block them before they get there.
Right. I think the state level's a solid way to go. You enact legislation that is a type of nullification, and if you have enough states doing it, what are the feds going to do about it? It's the same thing we do with Second Amendment and so forth. Yeah.
I love your...
Absolutely. So if I can chime in with two quick initiatives that I'm going to be pushing. One is a pretty simple one, and it's just a brand new right to breathe law. You know, that it can be one sentence or two sentences. It's just the state's not allowed to mandate a face covering.
Love it.
Because what we're finding when we go to court, like trying to like convince a judge that that's a religious issue or that's a disability issue, you know, and the judges and we're combing the statutes, we're combing religious. I'm talking to rabbis, priests, anyone who will listen and say, is there something that where God told Moses, don't put a rag over your mouth? And there isn't, because it's obvious. It's so obvious, right?
It's legit. Well, just the case of just the fact that people are using their masks now to get away with crimes should be plenty for you to be able to realize just logically that it's wrong.
Sure, but let's simplify it for judges, because judges don't want to overrule what the legislature hasn't done. And no one's thought to actually write that one sentence bill. Let's get that bill passed in 30 states, and then the feds can't mandate it.
Right. Oh, excellent.
Quick question for you. For people who are feeling that they are coerced, that they may lose their job or they cannot attend university unless they get vaccinated, what advice do you have for them?
Yeah, we're working on that every day. We're likely going to be bringing a case against Madison Square Garden, who we have a client who works at a ticket window behind bulletproof glass, right? She has a religious objection to the COVID vaccination because of fetal cell issues, and she is offered to wear a mask, and they're saying that she can't come to work under those conditions. So we're going to have to sue the conglomerate, and Madison Square Garden's owned by billionaires, and we got to protect the workers.
Excellent stuff. Well, we will come back and we will talk to you more about the Health Freedom Summit and your work in just a moment. Stay with us.
Great.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Prairie Patriot Firearms and Training is the region's most complete gun and training center. 5-lane indoor range, a gun shop, and a certified training facility. Firearms training courses are offered daily for new, intermediate, and advanced shooters. If you're not comfortable in a classroom setting, Prairie Patriot offers one-on-one private lessons, from basic self-defense training to concealed weapons testing, along with a full line of guns, ammunition, holsters, and concealment clothing. Prairie Patriot, 3930 Memorial Highway, prairiepatriot.com.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Arrow Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Welcome back to No Apologies, your after-hours oasis of sanity. I'm your host, Rick Becker, and our co-host, Lori Hintz, our wonderful guest, Kevin Barry, and in the studio, Tara Ducart. Wow, it's full house.
I know, it's a full house, but we got a lot to cover.
Yes.
So we were in the break, and you just told a quick little anecdotal story about how you have been actually contacted by somebody.
There's a medical student who contacted me. Literally yesterday I got the email, and they are struggling because they are being forced effectively to get a vaccine. And they're being questioned on why the hesitancy. And so they're looking for some help, advice on whether to even go down the road of answering those types of questions at all to engage like that, or simply to resist, but on what grounds. Now, you brought up fetal cells. I'm going to give you that ball and go ahead and tell us what you think.
Sure. So all of the vaccines that are currently on the market in the U.S., there's 3 currently approved under emergency use authorization. Each of them has fetal cell issues in their production or testing, and so does the upcoming Novavax vaccine, which might be, they're estimating, the company's hoping it's approved in the 3rd quarter. So we have, and we've assembled an expert panel of witnesses who are going to be appearing in our Connecticut case to restore the religious exemption appeal. And those expert affidavits will be transferable to employees and people attending school as well. And we're in New York, but we can consult with people all around the country to get their religious exemptions in and approved. So I would say file your religious exemption. That's your closest thing that you have right now. That's your most important thing. And it's every single company, every university has in their preamble of their student handbook that they don't discriminate on race, color, creed, religion. So you have your EEOC right, your Equal Employment Opportunity Commission federal right, and state level federal non-discrimination laws to rely on for your religious exemption. And
that is really good to know. I mean, super helpful for people to know that they can use that religious exemption too.
Yes. Now, Kevin, you're ready to chime in here, but I wanted to say this particular medical student has filed a religious exemption, was denied, but the basis of their exemption request was bodily autonomy. So they didn't go the fetal cell route. So perhaps that will be my advice.
Well, I think that is the fetal cell route. I think going the fetal cell route is the way to go, but this is a perfect illustration of the second legislative initiative at the state level, which is to amend state civil rights laws to include vaccination status or medical decision-making as its own protected class. You know, everything that you can't discriminate against is called a protected class: race, color, creed, sexual orientation. Sure. So religion's a protected class, but you've got to use the best argument for religious exemption is the fetal cell. There are other arguments, but fetal cell is the best. but that's a little bit round peg, square hole, right? And what would be, again, make it easy for the judges. Amend your state civil rights statute to add vaccination status, and it's over. And then the company can't discriminate against you for vaccination status. Neither can the school, neither can the DMV or the passport office, right? So and if you can't get vaccination status, if you can't get the V word into the statute, just say medical decision making. And again, this is not controversial. This is the international human rights standard for medical treatment. It's only controversial because of pharma propaganda.
Right, exactly.
I agree. And that's what we deal with Health Freedom North Dakota all the time, is the propaganda behind this. And so what we want is to armor people with truth and with education so that they can make informed choices. Because ultimately, I think when people stop complying and are willing to stand up and push back and file for these exemptions and to speak out and to stand up, then I think we can really see change.
How can you possibly force somebody to put something into their body against their will? It just makes no sense to me. It's just so simple. You can't, whatever happened to my body, my choice? I mean, the same people who are going and arguing my body, my choice on the abortion issue are on the other. Somebody explain that to me, how they can rationalize that. That makes no sense
agree.
to me.
I think some things are natural boundaries, like oceans between continents, sometimes rivers between states. Your skin and the outside world is a natural boundary, right? This is me. This is New York, right out here, right? Yep. So I decide what happens with me. New York decides what happens out there, and then they bring in the boogeyman. They bring in the infectious disease boogeyman. But that does not hold water. There is no scientific evidence that supports anything that they're trying to do. And in fact, in Israel, an article just came out last week. So Israel has 88% of its population over 50 is vaccinated. And last week, I think it's 55% of the new COVID cases are among the fully vaccinated.
Right.
And we saw that coming.
Yeah, everybody could predict that, right?
Yeah. So again, if people who haven't drank the Kool-Aid, the concept of the product doesn't work very well, therefore it's mandatory, that makes no sense at all, unless you're living in hypochondria land.
Well, there are some that have now been shoved into hypochondria land because of this, I think. And
it is mind-boggling that a cure for a disease, a cure which allegedly works fantastic for a disease which is allegedly horrific, you would not need the propaganda and the coercion.
So the vans in parking lots giving away free COVID shots.
Right.
Yeah. And guys, this conversation is naturally teeing up everything we're trying to do at Liberty Now, because one of our other aspects is a ban on gain of function research globally. That this was created in a lab. So I would say let's save the word vaccine for things that happen in nature, right? If something's made in a lab and there's something to counteract it, that's an antidote.
That's true.
A good point.
Oh, what a great term.
Point.
Oh, yeah. I'm really looking forward to seeing you at the Rock Your Health Summit. I really am. It's going to be
get to the VIP dinner, and then you can have access to questions. It's going to be amazing.
That's the information for the Rock Your Health Summit up there, and we will definitely be hearing from Kevin Berry at that one. Kevin, thank you very, very much for being on with us tonight. We are so grateful for your time, and we'll see you in a few weeks here in Bismarck.
Thanks, Kevin.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. I've never been to North Dakota. Looking forward to it.
Yay!
All right.
Bucket list. Check it off.
Thank you.
All right. When we come back, we're just going to talk to Tara a little bit about the Rock Your Health Summit in August as well. We'll be right back.
When you're buying windows, make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Hi, I'm Jesse with the Window Source. We only sell you the best windows and doors for the best price. Call the Window Source. Just because you pay less doesn't mean you get less.
Calling all farmers. Join us Friday, July 16th for Farmers Night at the Bismarck Bucks. The Bucks take on the Frisco Fighters with a 6:05 p.m. kickoff, and we'll highlight our friends at Farm Rescue as we help raise money to support our farmers around the region. For more information on tickets, please visit bismarckbucks.com. Get your free general admission tickets today.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to pull them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm gonna pass the savings directly on to you. Go to MyPillow.com right now to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. For example, you can get my premium MyPillows, regularly $69.98, now just $29.98, the lowest price ever.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
All right, we're back. It's No Apologies. Tara Dukart,
Yes.
Health Freedom.
Yes, public relations for Health Freedom. So you're the face of Health Freedom North Dakota.
Yes, but there are so many other board members that are working just as hard, if not harder, than I am. And we are a nonprofit organization. We rely on donations.
You're not that old either. Only a few years old.
1 year.
1 year?
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
Lexi Wangler, our president, applied last year, and so we achieved the nonprofit status as of June of last year.
Wow.
So
You're a 501.
C3?
Yes, that's correct.
You're a C3.
Yes.
So donations are tax deductible.
That is correct. Yes. So donations are tax deductible.
Okay.
And since we're on this topic, I'm actually going to start here.
Okay.
So it's always a hard ask to ask for funding, but I will say that the people that I work with on the board, we volunteer our time, and our spouses have just made it work to help clear our schedules so that we can stop what we're doing and we can help advocate for people. And I will say that a lot of us on the board, we're advocating for others, myself included. So my husband and I are self-employed, we homeschool our kids. And so a lot of these rules that have happened don't necessarily apply directly to us. But because I'm not at risk for losing my job, because my employer is mandating something or coercing me to do something that goes against my health freedom, and because my children are not attending a school where they're subject to those kinds of mandates, I am able to speak out without fear. But there are a lot of other people who come to us in private because they have some kind of fear or worry. And so that is one of the main reasons actually why we wanted to bring Kevin Berry to North Dakota to speak from a legal perspective, because we get questions almost every day.
Sure.
How do I protect my rights as an employee? What do I do? And we don't necessarily have answers. And so we're hoping, yes, get to the VIP dinner. If you have direct, specific questions that you want to ask Kevin, get there. He will be speaking, of course, at the main summit on Saturday. But if you have specific questions, get to the VIP. So I want to mention, since we were starting on the funding and the donations, we do not have any money in our account to cushion this event. So I will say, and I'm adding some vulnerability here, we need to sell 600 adult tickets 2 Saturdays event for us to break even. And by break even, I mean that just covers our costs to rent the space and to fly in our speakers, because they are coming from all over the United States. Most of them, I will say, are actually donating their time for the cost. Donating their time. And so, but we still need to sell tickets. So we are asking you to personally invite 25 of your friends. Buy tickets as soon as you can. Help us so that we can just kind of cover our costs. We are willing to continue to donate our time as board members, but we need the funding to be able to bring in this education, get people equipped, and get people marching forward so that they can know what their rights are and they can stand up to the coercion that we're facing.
Now, that poster that you had there, talk about some of the speakers that you have coming, because they're fantastic speakers.
Yes, they are. And so we had 5 announced. We debuted them earlier, but we have a 6th one that I am revealing today. We have a little competition going on. Melissa sent out an email earlier today. She was also going to put something on Facebook, and Health Freedom North Dakota on Facebook was deplatformed as of this afternoon. So you'll
over
have
the target. You're apparently over the target.
That's right. So we are trying to. So we appreciate being here so that we can continue to reach people in different ways. All right. So we are announcing our 6th speaker. That was a mystery speaker up until tonight. So we have, in no particular order, we have Jennifer Margulis. She has a PhD. She will be talking about the unexpected benefits of getting sick. So why getting sick can actually help you. That one's going to be fascinating, I think. And then we have Dr. Bob Zajac. He is a pediatrician from Minnesota. The loveliest man you will ever meet. You will fall in love with him. And he is actually thinking of starting a clinic in North Dakota. But you have to hear his story. We don't have time to get into it tonight. You have to hear Dr. Bob's story. It's just absolutely incredible what he has gone through. So he is speaking on informed consent and vaccine-influenced infections. And we have Susie Olson-Corgan. She will be talking about reasons why people might have vaccine hesitancy. We already heard, from Kevin Berry. So right. He has, yes, definitely a time chunk from the legal aspects of this. And Wayne Rohde is a Bismarck native, and he is going to be speaking mostly on the National Vaccine Injury Compensation Program and how that relates to COVID jab-related injuries. So that'll be some information there. And our big reveal, we were waiting to get his contract back. He and his wife were on vacation. We have Dr. Jim Meehan coming. If you're not familiar with him, he has guest hosted on Del Bigtree's The High Wire. When Del was out sick, Dr. Jim jumped in. So if you have not caught those episodes on The High Wire, you have to see them. You have to tune in. So he is speaking on weaponized pseudoscience.
Whoa, that's right up your alley.
Yes.
That's
it is going to be so good. So good. So get your early bird ticket. So we dropped the prices a little bit just to get an incentive for people to commit early. Okay. But we want you to get your tickets. You can go on our website. So it's healthfreedomnd.org. Click on events. And then you will see some of the other events we have going on. But the big one that we are promoting right now is Rock Your Health Summit. Get your VIP ticket. Get your ticket to the summit on Saturday. This year, this is new. We're making it family friendly.
Yay.
Based on feedback that we got last year, people said, I'd love to come, but I don't have childcare. Bring your kids. We have kid tickets. The young kids are free, totally free. We charge a minimal fee for kids, I think in like the 12 to 17 range. So just check online. You can get all the ticket and additional information that I don't have time to cover right now. Right. So look there. And then the other thing, we are doing breakout sessions. We want to get people connected with people in their own region. So we are going to have a special session set aside just for people to connect with other people. So they can link arms, hear the speakers, talk about things that are important to them, and discuss together, network. How can we go to our school boards and be armed and equipped to be able to do that? How can we go to our businesses or anything that's local to you? And then we just want to continue to connect people with each other. And just know that you're not alone. You are not alone. You can stand up and you can say, no, I don't want that.
Are there limited tickets to the VIP?
Yes, the VIP.
Get them before they're gone.
Yes, we are limited. We have 130 total, and I think we already have at least 30 to 50 spoken for. So you want to jump on the VIP tickets because that's, again, your only chance to do your personal Q&A, meet and greet, photo opportunities.
Second annual Rock Your Health Summit 2021, August 21st, Saturday. Make sure you go to their website.
Bismarck Event Center.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tara.
Coming in
yes,
here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you having me.
All right. Next, we are going to do another one of our On Locations.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Spas, etc. Yeah. You've come to know and trust us for over 18 years with the largest selection and showroom in Western North Dakota for our beautiful Sundance spas. Plus, you can pick out your next home experience with our selection of pool tables, shuffleboards, and fun accessories.
Spas, etc. Your relaxation destination on Main and Bismarck.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
All right, we're back. You guys did it again. Congratulations. It's the final segment. And more than that, it is on location. We've got our two young dudes that we're talking to.
So fun.
It's at Luft Rooftop Bar in Bismarck, which is my bar. You should come down and visit. I get to plug them.
Yep.
This is probably the last night because
cool to do
now
that,
it's going
though.
to be someone else after me. But anyway, we had good talks with these two young gentlemen. We're going to play it. Roll it.
What do you see as far as the United States of America? What do you see as far as North Dakota for the future? Do you think we're going to be like the greatest state ever, or do you think that we're going to get plowed under like the Oregons and the Minnesotas are going to start taking us over?
Yeah, I don't know if we're quite that far yet. Could it happen? Absolutely. But I don't know. I think people, you look at North Dakota as a whole, and obviously everyone's, kind of hesitation about all the lockdowns and the masking, and Bismarck specifically, probably over any other, city that I was, whether it was Fargo, Minot, didn't matter. I mean, it was just a different breed here, which I was very grateful for because I'm like, hey, we can actually go out and live. Like, I feel comfortable walking in my community, without wearing a mask or, whatever, so. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to take it day by day, I think. I mean, obviously, I think there's, from the politics side of things, I would say
prognostication?
I think that if we do get overtaken, it'll be death by 1,000 cuts. You're not going to see it happening until you wake up and it's here. You know, it's going to be one concession after the next until like 5 to 10 years pass, and the whole place looks different.
Yep.
And I think that has been going on.
Already, yep.
Yeah. Okay, so the dollar. Is it going by the wayside in the next couple of decades? Are we going to be only dealing in crypto? What do you think?
I'm a little scared for that because if you look at the hyperinflation that we're seeing right now, I don't know what else is going to happen. You know, I mean, when you have foreign countries that are coming in and they're taking ransom these huge corporations, and they say, oh well, we want cryptocurrency, we want Bitcoin. Okay, well, do they know something that we don't?
I don't know. I'm not very educated on that. I'm not familiar with how the whole crypto stuff works.
I don't think anyone is.
No, I mean, it's kind of a made thing. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's more of a universal currency.
But
I don't trade it because I don't get what I'm buying or investing into.
Well, the way they're printing money, the dollar makes as much sense as crypto. It's not based on anything, right? Okay, next. Who's the next president?
Donald Trump Jr., baby.
Yeah?
Fuck, I don't
know. I mean,
Probably
could be. I could see Donald Trump running again. I think it's very likely, but it could also be a hype thing too. I think he did a lot of good, but I just think he didn't know when to maybe stop, talking.
Yeah.
I think he got himself in a lot of trouble in a lot of different instances, but he also stuck up for us in a lot of ways that no other president ever has.
Agreed.
I mean, you look at some of these, summits and stuff that they've had recently, and you can just tell, like the
elbow bump thing. I thought the same thing. I'm like, seriously, what was that all about?
Are you kidding me? We're still playing this game.
So lame.
We have the vaccines that they're pushing, and I'm sure they're all vaccinated. Well, supposedly, right?
Right.
So, I mean, come on, like it's theater. Just like
I think the next president is going to be Kamala Harris. In 2 years.
Yeah, she'll definitely.
So before the 2 years, or after the 2 years?
It's a trick question. The next president, Kamala Harris.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of funny. I mean, I'm sure you guys seen the reports today on how basically, Trump, said, hey, I'm going to go down, I'm going to meet with the governor of Texas, and we're going to go to the border, and now all of a sudden, like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to go now.
I saw that too. She's going to El Paso, and randomly.
Interview on TV and just basically disregarded, what's going on down there. And it's like, come on, really? Yeah. It's your job.
Yeah. She acted like it wasn't even remotely important to her.
Okay, last question from me.
Okay.
Percent likelihood that we see the dissolution of the United States as we know it in the next 20 years.
Dissolution.
That the states break up. Maybe form separate groupings of states, but the whole 50 United States no longer exists.
I've never thought about
I hadn't either.
I think about it all the time.
Really?
I think it could be a possibility.
Well, so I personally don't think it'll happen, and here's why. I think the leaders who even are on the side we're on are going to eventually continue to become weaker, and I think that they'll just conform by default for fear of not. And eventually the whole U.S. will be under one type. You know what I'm trying
So
to say?
the U.S. will stay together, but will become a Marxist state.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
That's what I think about it.
Well, there's secession. I mean, there's lots of states that are trying to go into different states, and there's a lot of people talking about secession. But I didn't even.
Is the Florida guy? What's his name?
Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, so I heard I don't follow this up super closely, but I heard he's one of the only ones that stepped up. I don't know if that's true, but if more people were like him.
Oh yeah, he was definitely the leader in the.
Yeah, so I'm sure that everybody. I don't know. It depends, I don't know.
Yeah, you need several good people like
you need
DeSantis,
leadership,
yeah.
period. Yeah.
I think that we have a tendency to believe that you guys do not give nearly the thought that you obviously give it.
Right.
And that you're much more likely just to be like, yeah, whatever, we don't care, and free everything sounds awesome.
Maybe that's because that's what we were like when we were 25.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, free stuff is good, but it depends why they do it.
Right? That's great. That's great.
Control, you can't do
See, this is what we raise in North Dakota right here, is people who are thinking in their 20s, and I
anything really
love it.
No.
No, exactly.
Nothing's free.
Yeah, take the vaccine so you can have a free beer or a donut. Like, come on, like, wake up, people. Like, seriously, like, don't you think that there's something wrong with that? You know what I mean?
You have to be incentivized to go get something that's supposed to be really great for you.
Right, that no one has any idea of what the effects are going to be.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
I'm just so impressed by the intelligence and the intellect of the people that we get to talk to. It's
yes,
fantastic.
absolutely. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us.
Man, I have fun with that.
I did too. I really very much enjoyed that too. It was a very hot, wonderful night out on the outside and
on the patio. It was beautiful. It was a gorgeous night, and I don't know. That was our first one.
Mm-hmm.
We found such cool young people.
No kidding.
Not that they have to be young. We'll take the oldsters like ourselves as well.
Yes.
But I was just shocked when a young person. The first night was a couple of 22-year-olds that we showed, and then these guys at 24. And I was just shocked at what they had to say. I mean, I underestimated them. I
did too.
admit,
I sadly
underestimated
did too.
them.
I was of the same idea. When we started hearing some of the things coming out of their mouths about how they didn't want to be distracted, they just wanted to be entrepreneurial, I was just like, what? Who says that at 25? I mean, I guess maybe I was just thinking about myself at 25.
You were thinking about boys, not yourself. Come on.
Maybe so. I was just confused. I was like, what? How could they possibly be so mature? They just seemed extremely mature.
I've got my fingers crossed that more people that are that interesting and entertaining are going to come out. So keep track of us, guys. We are going to let you know where the next On Location is going to be, so you can be there and come and talk to us, challenge us, give us your opinion, whatever it is. We will air it.
Tomorrow night, an encore presentation, and then on Monday, we'll have some really interesting topics for you. Join us then.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got my pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm gonna pass the savings directly on to you. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.